everyone. It is Shayna Bergman here coming to you live from the woods. And Jen Edwards and I are going to talk today about the concept of the thinking around you can't make a mistake and how so many leaders feel this pressure about how they cannot make a mistake. And so I'm going to
Hi,
bring.
Shayna.
Hi, Jen.
How are you?
Welcome. Welcome to the woods.
Thank you. It looks beautiful.
It is. It is. So I was just sharing, we are in episode 9 of our Kick-Ass Leadership series. And today, the topic that we wanted to talk about is this thinking around cannot make a mistake. I'm going to open it up to you and see what your thoughts are around that.
Yes. So, the idea of making a mistake is a concept that holds people back, right? And listeners are probably thinking, but I do make mistakes. And while it is true that not everything goes the way we planned, and we don't necessarily do things the way we wanted to, the idea that it's a mistake is actually a choice of a perspective or a context. That something is a mistake is not the truth. And that it's not a mistake is also not the truth. It's a choice of a perspective that comes from the energy that we bring. And as a result, the outcomes, the actions that follow, the way it feels will all be different.
Absolutely. Well, if you think about it, even just that type of thinking creates so much pressure for somebody, right? And I think when you are a leader and you are in the spotlight and you have people watching, and paying attention to you, you're highly exposed. That type of thinking prevents you from maybe taking wise risks. Maybe it prevents you from saying the thing that you want to say because you're so petrified of, I can't make one. I can't make a mistake. When really what we're saying is there's this perspective that you can possibly hold, which is what if you kind of thought to yourself, I can't make a mistake. Like there are no mistakes,
Right.
right? And so if we think there are no mistakes, I'm curious in how you think about what there is.
Well, there's things that occur that may not be what we wanted or even that we like. And in that moment, we have a choice of how to view it that can be viewed as an opportunity to learn. It can be funny in some circumstances. It can be a chance to collaborate. It can be, all right, everybody, that didn't work out, like even in a team, like back to the drawing board. All right, here's what happened. Here's how we missed our goal. What can we create for next time? Versus the energy of like, oh my gosh, we failed. It was a mistake. I can't believe you did that. And then there's the blame and there's the guilt and the shame and the, I can't do that again. I better hide under a rock and never put myself out there,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So the idea of focusing on a mistake is a judgment. That's literally all it is. Like whatever happened happened. How you view it is a judgment. And so when we have the judgment that it was a mistake, which is somehow bad or wrong, what follows is not going to be very constructive or productive.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, and I'll tell you, like, I think about it even personally. Let's say there's something risky, new, I want to try, I want to do. It's very easy to get into the thinking of like, I don't want to mess this up. And so I'm just not going to do it. And I do that a lot. Like, oh, I'm not going to do it. And then if I can go back to that thinking of, wait, you can't make a mistake,
right.
then it's like, oh, the world is now my oyster. There are possibilities open to me. If it doesn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, I get to say, all right, I
Mm-hmm.
learned. It wasn't a failure. I'm not a disappointment. Something terrible and tragic didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it really is interesting how it can impact our day to day when we're constantly thinking to ourselves like, oh, but if I make a mistake, then that's bad, to your point about judgment,
100%.
versus it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to add that story to it.
Exactly. And from that perspective, that higher level perspective of everything's an opportunity, everything's in my highest interest, there becomes a freedom to try, to put yourself out there, to go
Yeah.
and see what happens. Every major, great, successful leader, thought leader, person in this world has operated from the standpoint that they're not going to be held back by what they define as a mistake and that they're going to just have everything be a learning opportunity. It's extremely freeing. one thing I also, well, two things I would encourage listeners to think about. One is, are there any places where right now you want to take some action, but you're worried or nervous about what's going to happen if it doesn't work out? The other thing, which can be extremely enlightening, is to think about a time when you saw somebody else make a mistake, and think about how you actually really didn't care. You didn't judge them. You probably comforted them. You were like, nobody cares that whatever happened. Um, just want to share a very quick story before we end on this. Recently, I was on a music cruise. Okay, it's this cruise we go on every year, and it's all oldies music. And this very well-known performer had his voice. It's funny, my voice just cracked. Had his voice kind of give out on him in the middle of a song, and it's, I mean, it's a cruise. It's casual. We're all up on the deck, and it's like very famous people. And he's singing, and he's like, "Sorry, my voice, whatever." So after their little hour-long performance, I went up to him and I said, "Hey," took a picture, and I said, "I just wanted to thank you." And he was like, "Thank me?" And I said, "Yeah, because when somebody of your level of success and skill can be up in front of us and have something not go well, that, number one, I can see that I was inspired by that. And thank you for giving all of us permission to not be perfect." So I just encourage people to look at what they might define as a mistake as inspiration to others, an opportunity to grow, and an opportunity to be creative.
I love that. And thank you for sharing that story. It's such a beautiful example. It is inspiring, it is human, it is relatable. And part of that is by being a human
Yes,
and being you, and you are enough, and mistakes will happen. Own them, live them, love them, learn from them. And what more can we say?
absolutely. And Shayna, I am inspired by you. So thank you. Hi, Eugenie.
Likewise, Jen, it goes both ways. Hi, Eugenie. Hi, Garrett. I saw Casey was on here. Hi, Casey. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next time with episode
All
10.
right. Take care. Bye bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.